Alright, so this video is a bit of an extension from my previous one, so if you haven't seen that one yet, go watch it, you bum. No, I'm just playing, I ain't that rude in person. In my last video, I talked about loneliness and shit, and how it can literally and figuratively kill you if you don't have a genuine connection with another person. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that. I ain't trying to oversimplify depression, but if you're flirting with that hoe, then talking to a homie can set you straight, you know? And blah, 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 I'm not a therapist. Kinda starting to get better at cutting my hair, okay. What I didn't talk about was the connection with yourself. Let me tell y'all a story. When I was alone, I asked myself, what do I want? What are my aspirations? What am I aspiring towards? What's my ultimate goal in this game we call life? And I was like, wait, I already figured that shit out when I was 14. Originally, I wanted to be a world famous soccer player like Messi or Ronaldo, because, you know, I'm Mexican. My name's Ronaldo too. It makes sense, right? And I remember this one time back in 2014 at the World Cup. It was Argentina versus Germany, the final game of the World Cup. It was in like extra time, and Germany scored a goal on Argentina.
With touch, with finesse, and steered beyond Romero. And Germany are the champions of the world. Illuminate.
And cut me some slack, I was 13 at the time, but you know, like a real man, I shed a couple tears. I was like, damn, I was really devastated, but at the same time, I was incredibly inspired to pursue soccer, and which is what I originally wanted. But I didn't want it badly enough, which is why I never got anywhere with it, which is why the majority of people who pursue soccer at an early age don't go anywhere with it. They don't want it badly enough. But watch, give me a couple years and I'm gonna pull a J. Cole / Master P in and do both, except for soccer, not basketball. When I was 14, I wanted to become a music artist, you know, like Bruno Mars. Back in 2014, I saw him perform at the 2014 Super Bowl halftime show. On TV though, not in person. You think I'm rich enough so for that shit? Fuck no. But I was like, yeah, this is what I truly want. You know, I got a little bit lost along the way, but now I'm back on track to achieve that goal. And it was around that time that I started getting into hip hop and YouTube. A funny story though, I used to actually hate hip hop back in the day. And ironically, it became the hottest spark that lit inside of me. Long story short, figure yourself the fuck out. And it's a little bit hard to do because the school system kind of takes away time from focusing on ourselves. You know, we're told what to do for 13 years. And then suddenly at 18, we're expected to do everything on our own. We're treated like kids, but expected to act like adults when we never had the chance to breathe. And then you go to university or get scanned by the military for the next 4 years. You see a common theme here? And if you think about it, school is just a 9 to 5 for kids, except you ain't getting paid. I'm gonna be honest, I got a little bit lucky. I had my flame lit with an ambition to match with it. I've always been a curious kid and would always explore different kinds of things, different types of shit to see if it was fun for me. But the answer to that, to being right for yourself, is to just take the time to be by yourself, to breathe, to fucking slow the fuck down, to take your foot off the gas. You ain't gotta go 100 miles an hour. Take the time to slow down, to smell the flowers and explore your garden. And yeah, it's a little counterintuitive when in my last video I said that loneliness kills, but once you have that support system, once you have that lifeline, then you can make that dive. You know, it's kind of like those old school scuba divers with the fucking tubes on their head. And I feel like that's what I have right now, which is why I have the confidence to be able to do what I do. That's why I have the confidence to be able to say, fuck it, I'm gonna just do what I want, because I have that support system in place. I had that time to go inside and to weigh my options and circle back to the conclusions I arrived to when I was younger, though from a more educated perspective. And let's pretend that socioeconomic issues don't exist for a second and that anyone can do this. When you go through it, it's like you're going through your own character development, you know? You're filling your glass just a little bit more. And you can't fill someone else's glass if yours isn't full. That's why the majority of relationships in our late teens, early 20s fail. Because how are you going to start a life with someone if you don't even know who you are? It's when you're able to stand on your own 2 feet, when your glass is full, that you can have a fulfilling relationship and not one based off of superficial shit. And something you need to be able to do that is to gain self-awareness, to be able to take yourself out of your own shoes and look at yourself from a different perspective, to take a step in someone else's shoes and see how they see the world around them. Now, I'm lucky enough to be naturally gifted in emotional intelligence, and I've spent a lot of time and effort to be able to empathize and connect with other people better too. So for me, it's a little bit easier, but it's still kind of hard to do so. You see a common theme here? And one of the reasons why it's so hard is because sometimes you're the bad guy in a certain situation, or you do things or act in a certain way that's out of alignment with your character. It peels back a layer of bullshit that you could have been living in. It's uncomfortable, and who wants to be uncomfortable besides crazy motherfuckers like me? One of the hardest things for me was to admit that I was wrong about certain things, because no one wants to admit that they're wrong. Everyone wants to feel special and that they can never do no wrong. Why do you think I made the God complex video in the first place? It was to expose a negative trait about myself so I can let go of it and continue to move forward and grow, because I'm not holding myself back anymore. I've aligned myself with my goals and do and believe what moves me towards them. And letting go of shit that doesn't serve you, you progress. You make steps towards that actual you. And then once you're there, you're yourself. I know it's been a while since I've done an outro because it makes me feel a little bit weird, and it makes me feel weird saying this, but give that subscribe button a little smoosh, you know, a little something, you fucking weirdos.